Hey, I'm Dan Fitzpatrick at stockmarketmentor.com. And I want to go through a rotation that we're seeing is like really, really obvious today. So let's just make sure we got our money in the right places. And by the way, members, I'm going into a lot of detail in tonight's strategy session. If you are not a member, just real quick, I've got an active trade list, give you stocks, entries, stops, exits, rationale for being in the trade. Basically, showing you where to fish, jumping in the water. I'm putting the fish on your hook, jumping back onto the deck, dragging it on, and then filleting it, and I'm giving you nice sushi. So if you're not a member, you can check that out. $7 is all it takes. Back on track here. So this is a triple ETF. Now, the S&P was up a little bit today, not a lot. The Qs were up for a while, and then they fell back. So that leads us back to the FANG. These are the triple ETFs for all the big dogs. Okay, despite a relatively strong market, we're still in an uptrend. This was actually down a bit. Is there anything wrong with this? Only one thing that I can think of, and that is it's not outperforming a lot of things that are pretty obvious, or I'll put it the other way. A lot of things are obviously outperforming this. And I think that makes a huge difference. I totally think it matters. And I'm going to tell you why. If we look at the small caps, here, we'll start with the mid caps, excuse me. If we look at the mid caps, they're up $1.43%. Again, the S&P up 0.3%. The Qs essentially flat. So we're back to the mid caps. They're up a lot. The small caps are also up a lot. These are major indexes. They don't often go up like 2%. So these are absolutely outperforming. Now, if you look at the homebuilders index, this has been going on for a while. I've been talking about this for a while since this broke out. And the way I look at this kind of stuff is exactly the way this transpired. We get a breakout above a key moving average and then a pullback, oftentimes to test that key moving average. If it doesn't pull back to test it, that's even better. But then, so it pulls back here, okay, a little whoop-de-doo comes down here, but then ultimately runs back above it, and now we're in to this little zigzag pattern and on and on and on. I'm looking at this as a real key tell. When you consider that interest rates, I haven't even looked at the 10-year today. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. When interest rates are likely to be headed down, once Powell pulls his head out of his asterisk, when interest rates are likely to be headed down, you're going to get home builders that start to move higher. They're already anticipating that. Now, there's other issues involved. I'm not going to talk about it here. This is supposed to be fits in 5, not fits in 15. So, but there are other issues down the road with home builders that are not looking good. But for the time being, for the next month or so, maybe even more, these are where you want to be, more so than in like Meta. Apple's breaking out, but even then, like, I don't know, I'd rather be in home builders. They went up almost 4% today. Apple, clean breakout, not even 2. So the point is, I want to be where the money is going. Not really where the money's been, because where the money's been or where it is right now, it's going to be moving out. And so we're into the home builders here. And then you can just look at XHB. Nice move today. Nail gives you a triple ETF, almost 12% today. Now you can see these numbers here. This is where we got in on our active trade list. And my sense was, okay, are we in late? Well, if you're counting like trying to get in at the bottom, sure. But I'm not really interested in catching bottoms. I'm interested in getting the nice runs up into a phase 2 or a stage 2 markup phase. And that's what we're starting to get here. Bottom line is this. These have a long way to go before you're going to see these pull back. Money is just now, it's obvious that it's rotating into these stocks. It has been in since the since the big sell-off here. But money, it's obvious that this is where the money's going. And when it's obvious that the money is going there, as long as it's not obvious for too long, when it's obvious that the money's going there, it's like this feedback loop. The more they go up, the more money they attract. The more money they attract, the more they go up. I think we're kind of in the early innings here. We've got several of them on our active trade list. Members, again, I've updated stops. You can go through the strategy session tonight, and let's go make some money.